What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 40 of the 40 Years, 40 Beers podcast. That's a triple 40. 40, 40, 40.
40, guys. I can't believe we made it this far. It's like a year and a half, dog.
It is. So we talked about this, right? So, yeah, you know what? We're a local podcast. We're two friends who do this, and hopefully it does well. But I love doing it regardless. But how many podcasts that are started make it past the 10th episode? It's like 5% or something.
No, 90% don't make it. Yeah, only 10% make it. And then of those 10%, only 10% make it to episode 20. So to be double that, and to be 14 months in and still putting them out bi-weekly, I think it's fantastic.
Correct. Now, I agree. I mean, we have some weekly episodes. You know, we try to put them out as quickly as possible. Life gets in the way. We keep generating followers. Thank you to our followers. Thank you guys so much. We're nothing without our fans. We're nothing without the subscribers. 40 years, 40 beers on TikTok. 40 years, 40 beers on YouTube. 40 years,
everywhere.
40 beers on Spotify.
Yeah.
Apple Podcasts. Please give us a listen. You know, we're nothing without our listeners.
Pandora. We're starting to do good on Pandora, Amazon Music, everywhere you get your audio podcast, we're there. And the video is on Spotify and YouTube. But then, of course, there's tons of little clips that go everywhere as well. So lots of, what's happening now is every time we post a video, somebody's saying something about it. Before, in the very beginning, we would have a few videos that would go by and nobody would ever say anything or even hit the heart or the thumb up. And now, like, no matter how good or bad they do, someone is always saying something. You know what I mean? And I think I think we're trending in the right direction with sticking with this, and everybody keeps getting a little more engaged each day. I think that's all you can ask for.
I agree with you. And one thing I tell the kids that I coach, right? And I think you've said this before, what resonates across life, which is amazing. We're not in competition with other podcasts, right? We're in competition with ourselves.
Right. Yeah.
Right? There's a million seats at the table. And I tell my kids this that I coach. I tell both my sons this. I'm like, guys, don't worry about other people. You're not involved or you're not in competition against them. Yes, when you're playing sports, you're competing against other kids. But when it comes to getting better and improving, you're only in competition against yourself.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's the goal is to get better at what you're doing, at what you're putting out, get better at your craft. It's not, there's an infinite amount of seats. We're not in competition with anybody but our last episode, right? I mean, that's the goal is you get a little bit better every time. And, like we're refining our logo. We're refining the way we even approach the episodes now, right? We make exceptions for Stranger Things. We're going to make exceptions for some other shows like From, but for the most part, we're trying to balance between like current events in our lives and nostalgia. So we're trying to find like,
we're in the 40-year-old brand, right?
Yeah.
We try to, everything's towards 40-year-old men, women, just, frankly, we hate to use this word, right? Middle age.
Yeah.
It's frankly towards the middle-aged people who we think about our childhoods, right? I think we're all much younger today than we were or our parents were. I mean, I think about this now.
100%.
Like my parents at 44 years old were not me.
Yeah. No.
I can tell you that flat out. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
My mom was like walking around in like one of those house dresses at like 50. You know what I mean? Like on Saturday, she was cleaning the woodwork and walking
like
around.
Alice from the Brady Bunch. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So saying that, this episode is going to be all about the show From. MGM Plus, hashtag MGM Plus.
Yes.
If you guys don't know about From, I don't know what rock you've been living under. All right. From is one of the greatest TV series that I've ever seen, coming up on season 4. All right. It's like, again, we've already said this. It's an MGM Plus show. I don't know that it's not in my top 10 already. Ooh. It's in my top 10, right?
I don't know. I don't know if it makes my top 10. Maybe it does. It certainly deserves to be in that conversation as one of the best TV shows of all time. I think, it's so intriguing and they don't lose you, right? Like some shows you come back for the second or third season and you're like, I no longer care about what happens. Some shows, they don't pull you in from the beginning, but From hooks you immediately and you never lose interest. At least I've never lost interest in what's going to happen next.
Like you can't wait.
Right.
Tell me the truth. You cannot wait until Sunday.
And that's the best thing about MGM Plus is that they drop on Sunday morning. You don't even have to wait till the nighttime.
So it's not like HBO Max, right? So if HBO Max, if the show airs at 9 p.m. on Sunday night, because it's live TV, it's like 9:01. It comes on HBO Max.
Yeah.
But the one thing I do like is with the whole HBO Max thing, where let's say you're watching it on live TV on HBO, right, at 9 o'clock at night. So you're watching, I don't know, DTF St. Louis. Okay.
Yeah.
So that just ended. You're watching that. And let's say it's like some dialogue or some like music montage. You're like, all right, I don't want to see this. You can already fast forward it.
Yeah.
You can't do that on live TV at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right. So the whole episode is already on. It's already ahead of the one that's airing live.
Yeah.
That's what's great.
No, it is. I mean, there's nothing, like from the creators of Lost, it drops in the morning. The whole premise of the show, I think, is, I don't know that anybody has, like, I feel like we've been trapped in places before. There certainly have been monsters and weird things going on before, but the way you can't go out at night, the talismans, the way that, we still don't know, like, who's been calling Jim on the phone. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think we do. I think, and we'll get into all that.
Do we know that?
I think it was the man in yellow.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty confident it was, right?
Okay.
I mean, from the voice, right? I'm pretty confident it was the man in yellow.
Okay.
So let's go into what Lost. The show is from the creators of Lost, which tells us it's already going to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Lost, one of the greatest television shows of all time. So the premise is basically the Matthews family drives on a road trip. All right.
Are they the main characters?
I would say so, right?
And Boyd?
You got Jim Matthews, you got Tabitha Matthews, okay? You have Boyd, you have Jade, and then you have Donna, right, who runs Comedy House. Donna, they're the main characters.
Jade didn't come until season 2, end of season 2, beginning of season 3.
Episode 1, cuz. He's the one who was in the car who caused the Matthews to veer off the road.
Oh, yeah. Him and his boy.
Him and his boy, and his boy died.
I was thinking the main characters were fluctuating, but no, if Jade was in it from the pilot, then I would agree with that. Everybody else was in it from the pilot. Yeah.
Now, here's the other
characters.
Thing. What you just said about fluctuating is a great view because it's an ensemble. Right. So obviously there's leads, right? People have a hierarchy like Howard.
Like Walking Dead-ish in that sense of the ensemble.
Correct. I feel like they do a great job of every episode is kind of shifting towards different characters.
I live on Elgin. Ellis is the next one over. Ellis and Elgin are two main characters.
Correct. But what about Sarah? Remember, Sarah was the one who killed her brother, who she slit his throat. She was the one who she was the one who was hidden, right?
Sarah
by Boyd.
She has like special powers or something, right?
Correct, right? So she's also the one who gouged out Elgin's eye, right? Well, and she said she's the one who has to. Everybody hates me already. What is that?
The alcohol pads. Watch this.
Is it going to be black?
Yeah. It's going to be blacking in my fucking beard.
Ladies and gentlemen, why does he have all that oil and residue on his skin?
I go through 3 or 4 of these before I get clear.
Are you putting makeup on?
No.
So real fast, I feel like this is our best podcast. This shit.
Yeah.
Why?
No, I use, see, now we're getting a little better by the third one.
This is what I mean. We need a nice, beautiful 40-something woman from Delco, single lady. Yeah. To teach us about this stuff. Yeah. Teach us about facial care. Teach us about skincare. We need to know why we got to know why Massey's so fucking ashy.
And not ashy. And you would expect it to be our wives, but it's not.
Nah, my wife's she's at my guy hoops with pneumonia running up and down a basketball court. I'm going to have to freaking revive her later. I already told her, I'm like, how much is the life insurance for? I was like, is this considered an accident? If it's for $500,000, do I get $1 million if you die playing basketball?
So where were we? We got off track. We got crazy off track.
All right. So
okay. So did you get through your rewatch of seasons 1, 2, and 3?
I'm good. I've seen it all. So here's what I think.
So having just watched the season 3 finale, go ahead. What are you thinking?
So what I think is, I actually think that season 4 is going to get slowed down a little bit. And hear me out when I mean by this.
Slowed down?
So you can agree that every season so far is one of those seasons where you're like on the edge of your seat every episode because it's so fast paced, right? Like they still explain things, but I mean, it's just like every scene, every time it flips to a new scene, it's everything matters.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's just like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next?
You have to pay attention. Yeah.
And you're going to have to pay attention the whole time. But they've already announced that season 5 has already been put in the works. All right. It's already been renewed for season 5, which is going to be the last season. So now season
we need
4,
a lot of explanations.
Correct.
We're missing a lot.
Think about when there's
blanks.
A series, right? Or a mini series, and it's like 8 episodes. What is usually the best episode? Episode 7.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Same thing.
What's his name is great at that. Harlan Coben.
Correct.
Yeah.
So they call it like the penultimate or
penultimate.
The penultimate episode. All right. This is the penultimate season. So it's going to set up to be fast as hell again in season 5.
Because you can't, in a series, you can't do it all at the end of the last season. In a mini series, you don't have any other choice. You know what I mean? You only have 6 or 7 hours to tell your story.
In my opinion, by the time season 4 is over, we're going to understand how the reincarnation happens.
And why this place exists at all.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know, so we're already getting into some of the mythology, right? So seasons 1, 2, and 3, there was always a little hint of it, right? So when Boyd gets stuck in the, we'll call it a chimney, and he comes up.
Yeah. No, it is. Yeah, it's a chimney.
Yeah. And the guy tells him, against the wall, I forget his name, but he tells him that, you know, you think the monsters are the worst part. There's way worse things. Okay.
Not a lot of people caught that though.
Yeah. But so now we know about the man in yellow who just walks around. So now we know he controls, obviously he's at least ahead of the nighttime monsters, the parents who sacrificed their children for immortality.
Yeah.
Okay? So we know that he's above them. I actually think there's even another entity above him. I think he's the middleman, right? Like, so in a hierarchy in the army or in anything or in business, there's a CEO, then there's middle management, then there's the frontline workers.
Yeah.
I think the man in yellow is middle management. Does that make sense?
Yeah, he's got to be. He can't be what the old man in the chains was referring to when he said you haven't seen any, they're just a tip of the iceberg or whatever he told him. Yeah, exactly. It can't be. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that it's odd that the man in yellow hasn't come out during the day yet until he kills what's the name. But just the fact.
But in my opinion, he did come out already in season 1, the finale. I think he was the guy who was on the other end of the radio with Jim Matthews. That's what I think.
Yeah, in the storm when they were trying to build but in and of itself, I think the ability for the monsters to come out during the day is bad for all the reincarnated humans. But
here's the thing, and I agree. I'm not trying to cut you off.
Bigger than him.
I don't know if we know that yet, right?
Yeah, the man in yellow came out during the day to kill what's the name.
So great point. But all we know now is that he's not one of the people who sacrificed their children for immortality, right? He wasn't in those original 6, 7, whatever, the Unkui kids, right? The Unkui family. So he's above them.
What do you mean above? In superpowers?
In power or hierarchy or whatever. Maybe he was already in the town. He was part of the entity before they got there. What if he was part, like maybe he can come out during the day, but the monsters can't.
Is it possible that in this world, that there are multiple Fromvilles?
I don't think so.
Why not?
I think it's more time travel than it is dimensions like Stranger Things. I think it's more about time than it is about dimensions, if that makes sense.
Yes, but how come no normal... Are there non-reincarnated humans in Fromville?
That's one thing we don't know yet. For example, Elgin in episode 1, right? He had a dream about Fromville, and then when they in season 2, or Elgin. The end of the last episode of season 1. The bus gets there, right? And he's having the dream. And then when he stands up, he's like, no, don't stop. Don't do this. So is he reincarnated? We don't know. They never discuss that. But my theory is that they all are. And I can't give you character by character who is, but we already know that Jade is a reincarnation of Christopher,
Yeah.
Okay, from when Victor was a little boy.
Was a kid. Yeah.
Okay. And then we also know that Tabitha is a reincarnation of Miranda, who was Victor's mom.
Yeah.
All right. So I also believe that Randall is a reincarnation. I think is a reincarnation of the man in yellow because of the scar on the face.
But they're both there at the same time.
Correct. But they're also not shown. Well, we don't know that because Julie, right? She showed up at the end of episode 3 with a different haircut. She looked older. So she's obviously traveling through time.
I didn't think it was a different haircut. I thought she had the white ghost streak.
No, her hair was long. And then when Jim got killed by the man in yellow, her hair was short. You know who's going to end up being the most important character in the movie, in the show?
Julie. Yeah. Her brother. Yeah.
Ethan's the one who told her.
He's kind of been our guiding light the whole time.
Exactly. He told her how she's a story walker and explained how once the story's written, it can't be changed, right? If you remember in episode 1, as they're driving in the RV, he starts telling a story. Like him and Julie are playing this game where you have to tell a story about what's going on.
Yeah.
Every quest, right? He's going to be the one who's the main character.
Wait a while. If Randall actually is the man in yellow and they're there together, both in Fromville, but perhaps at different times, is Ethan Victor?
No, because we know they're there together.
That's right. They talk to each other a lot.
Correct. We know they're in the present time. And this is why the show's so fantastic, because you have all these questions, right? So Boyd is obviously, they're fucking with Boyd. And that's the other thing. Like, Boyd's the one who said, you're not going to break me, right? We're going to fight through this. So everything's changed from before. It was just, we go kill you at night, where we're hunting you for sport. And then they kill Kenny's mom and make him watch because he screamed out, you're not going to break me. So now it shows there's kind of planning involved. Like they have not emotion, but they have minds to comprehend that, oh, really? You're not scared? We're going to make you scared.
Torture. Yeah.
Correct.
Well, and they did, was his mother the one they did in the barn when they made Boyd watch from across? That was the mother? Okay, yeah. So you and I were talking on the phone about this, and at first you thought I was out of my mind, but then I was starting to make sense. Ellis's girlfriend, what's her name? The pregnant broad.
So Fatima.
Ellis actually got her pregnant through intercourse. Correct?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so here's my thing. I understand that the monsters get reincarnated, okay? But there has to be a baby involved. There has to be some sort of birthing process in the womb, right? Because the Japanese lady stole Fatima's baby.
The kimono. The kimono.
Yeah, kimono dragon. She stole Fatima's baby, brought it down into the tunnel, and he turned out in a smiley.
Correct. So I think I know what you're going with this. So it can't happen. Like, what are the chances that somebody gets pregnant and all this, right? So, dude, humans have sex.
But
humans have sex. Like, they're
no.
Somebody's going to be fucking and like,
it's not about that. I'm with you that every time someone gets impregnated, that baby can turn into a new monster or a reincarnated monster.
I think it's always going to be a reincarnation. I think that's the whole key, that in the Fromville mythology, the monsters who gave up their kids, the Ankui kids, to have immortality, that's part of the immortality, right? So they can't be killed. So even though something happened where Boyd took the worms from the guy in the dungeon and said, my blood is your blood, right? And he died, he still can't, he can always be reborn. I think that's part of the mythology.
But that's the part that's what I'm getting to. I understand that every time someone gets impregnated, that child turns into a reincarnation of one of the monsters. But it just so happened that Fatima got pregnant 9 months to the day that Boyd killed Smiley.
So again, if you were watching, that's not what happened. Her pregnancy was accelerated.
Okay, but there had to be a pregnancy to accelerate in the first place, and they couldn't control when Boyd killed him.
But at the end of the day, because, I mean, Ellis and Fatima are in their 20s. They're going to have sex.
No, but what I'm saying is,
I think you're looking way too much.
There's no world where you can't look way into it, because you're nuts right now.
A few moments later.
So, episode 40 got cut a little short. We had some technical difficulties. Where I was going with my questions to Bob was basically, if Fromville has multiple iterations, right, throughout this world. Maybe they are orchestrating the death of the monsters and the birth and pregnancy situation, you know, because like someone keeps calling on the phone, someone keeps turning the radio on whenever, you know, it's the absolute best or worst time, depending on how you look at it. Someone keeps steering the cars into this tree. I don't want to say it's a simulation, right? But maybe if there are multiple iterations of this world and maybe someone is like puppeteering the whole thing, that's just my question that I had, because otherwise it's just a huge coincidence. And I'm sorry, the people that are making this series, they don't leave anything to chance. There's no coincidences with, you know, what we're seeing here. So to be continued, we're going to do episode 41 when From season 4 episode 1 airs in a few days, and we'll catch you guys later.